It is the RIOT Podcast, the Thursday, January 19th edition. Glad you're all here. I don't know. It sounds like I was about to make like a very sad announcement. Yeah, I was going to reveal something very upsetting, but I don't have anything.
Well, here's
thank goodness.
Our non-upsetting, non-sad podcast lineup for today.
Can you scoot back a little bit?
What do you mean?
I don't know why you're so close.
He raised his seat up.
Oh, I was wondering why it's like cutting off the top of your head.
I'm sitting up straight.
Well, then slouch.
Maybe my seat is a little high, but I didn't raise it.
It looks like
your
it.
left be a little
It
high.
doesn't go down any further than.
Well, then just slouch a little
than
bit.
This.
Hunch over.
All right. So we kicked off the podcast by talking about the oldest person in the world
Who passed away.
who passed away.
But we did talk about the new oldest person in the world as well.
What age is that?
115.
119 or almost 119 is the person who passed away.
Yes.
She was just it was like her birthday was like February 11th, and then the new person is 115.
Makes sense, yes.
Big drop off.
Sad.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right.
We'll move along from
Yeah.
death. How about we do that?
I know, but when you talk about someone who lived that long, you're at one side of things, you're like, wow, my gosh, she
Yeah.
lived. Like we don't hear about, at least in our own personal world. Like normally, it's not like my grandma lived that long.
I don't. What is the oldest person any of you guys actually know?
Eric's grandma.
How old?
She just passed. She passed away in November, and she was 101.
Whoa.
And she
101?
She was 3 weeks from being 102, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it wasn't easy towards the end. So,
That's-
Yeah.
yeah.
The oldest person I know, I don't know very many old people, but the oldest one I know is my grandmother.
Yeah.
I believe she is 88.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Well, she's still.
And
That's
she's
a
still
lot of-
motoring. She's
Yeah.
motoring. She
Right.
walks at the pool, at the rec center. She's still
Your
she's doing
grandmother
well.
would love to hear. It's like, yeah, she walks.
She walks and stuff. She swims around.
Yeah,
she's doing good.
probably pretty proud of that.
Yeah, she's doing good.
I've got a couple aunts that I don't know exactly how old they are, but I believe they've gotten into the 90s.
Oh
now.
wow.
And they're the type of aunts that like, you know, when you get to that age, you have health issues, but at the same time, it feels like no health issue. You know, they almost seem invincible.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they still continue on living. Despite so many things that come along, they're like, oh, wow, this could be it. And then it never winds up being it.
It could be like, do you remember Mr. Burns, how he was always so
Yes.
sick? Like he had
Yeah.
every single disease,
Uh-huh.
but it all fit in perfectly.
Yes.
And then you still live.
Thank you for comparing my aunts
You're welcome.
to the
Mr. Burns.
evil villain from The
Yay.
Simpsons in a
Oh.
cartoon show.
Hey,
I
Good
am
character.
so happy to help, okay?
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also talked about a woman who was contacting her ex just like a little bit too much. A little bit.
A little overboard.
A little overboard.
Yeah.
I guess so. Like now you could just block somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It was that I did cross my mind as well. But I mean, she seemed like the type.
She's getting around it.
She figured out a way. She got a
Yeah.
new phone number. She got a burner phone.
Or if you're trying to build a case against someone,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe you would allow it so you could show, like, hey, to the police, which is what this guy had to do.
yeah.
Like, what could she? My question is, obviously, she was sending just a barrage of texts, right? What could she possibly have been saying?
They said that she kept just saying, we wanted to get back together. You're mine. Those are threatening words.
Yeah.
Like, we're
Oh,
meant to
yeah.
be together. It was
Please.
really just focused on she felt like she was still supposed to be with him.
Yikes.
Yeah, I just like feel like after you send like a couple of those and like there's no response,
You'd stop.
then you would like as it goes on, yet again the embarrassment factor of being like, please would like go overboard.
No, she
Yeah,
has
but-
no shame.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also talked about lucky girl syndrome, one of the newer TikTok trends.
And the newer trend to that. There is a new one.
The update.
The update to
update
it.
to it.
Yeah, they're taking it to the next level.
Yeah, we talked about that. We also touched on Uber driver karaoke.
Hey.
Hop into an Uber, maybe you'll be on karaoke.
You can find out which of us would embrace it and which of us would not.
I feel though
But you might be able to guess.
everybody's doing a thing now. So like, especially if you're a waiter or like a driver, to where they're filming it. it's on your
Everybody's got a
TikTok.
thing.
Everybody wants to be a
everybody's having
star.
So if I popped into an Uber and the guy was like, "Yeah, you can be on my channel," I'd have to be like, "Well, how many
Let's see.
followers do we have?
Can we get some credibility here, please?
Is this how big in the scale?
You're
of,
going to
like,
need to tag me.
Yeah. I
How
wanna see
many
what it
people
is.
are going to be seeing this?
Yeah.
Is this going to be embarrassing for me to be on here?
But it looks fun. The guy has a really good time with it.
Yeah. Well, good show, eh?
Enjoy.
Grand.
Catch you next time.
Hey, have a good
guys.
day.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Some bad news out of France that the oldest, I never know how to say this, the oldest living person is no longer living anymore.
I mean, the oldest known person died.
Yeah. Her name was Lucille Randon, although she was known as Sister Andre because she was a nun in France. She just passed away. She was getting ready to turn 119.
Oh, my gosh.
Almost made it.
Oh, she was just a few weeks from it.
Yeah, almost made it to 119.
She was born February 11th, 1904.
That's crazy.
And she was also one of the world's oldest survivors of getting COVID.
Yeah.
Which she had a few years ago.
She was a trooper, Sister Andre, because she had COVID. It was a couple years back, 2021. And she said at the time, she didn't even realize she had symptoms or like she could have gone through and never realized.
And never even knew? Wow.
If she had never tested positive.
It was
at 117.
She was 117 when she had that.
That is unbelievable. Now, if you might remember, she became the oldest person in the world back when the woman in Japan who passed away not too long ago as well. Her name was Kane Tanaka. Remember that?
Yeah, she was 119.
Yeah.
And then this sister, she moved into first place.
Yep.
After that, they passed away.
Now, I guess the good news is there's a new oldest living person.
Aww.
And that is Maria Brañas Morera, who was born in the U.S., but now lives in Spain. This is a big drop-off. She's the oldest person in the world. She's 115 years old.
How do you live to 115?
Well,
or even 119?
I'll tell you that according to those who knew Sister Andre, she was known to enjoy a daily glass of wine and chocolate.
Oh, yeah, they're always
those were her secrets.
It was whiskey and bacon.
It's almost always alcohol.
It almost always
is involved if you want to live to nearly be 120. But that got me thinking, because sometimes I thought if I became like one of the world's oldest people and somebody started caring what I thought, then I would make up stuff. I'd be like, yeah, I chewed on a piece of cardboard every day.
Every day.
Just something real dumb that I didn't actually do, but to try to convince other people. Just
that it kept you young?
Yeah, that would make me laugh. But then now I'm thinking, what better advertisement if I was like the head of marketing for Snickers? You know what I'd be doing? I'd be going to Maria Brañas Morera and saying, listen, you're the oldest person in the world now. Can you start telling people
it's Snickers?
Snickers is your secret? Yeah. What better advertisement could there be than that?
Listen, we see a person. You're seeing advertising.
I know.
All right. We're seeing someone's grandmother.
I just see dollar signs.
My goodness.
That's the difference between me and you. I have no morals whatsoever.
So there's a research group that actually has to validate every older person who's over the age of 110.
Yeah.
Most of it comes from, because I remember from a previous world's oldest person, is it's really hard to validate their actual age.
Yeah.
Because like for this one, believe it or not, in 1904, things were a little different.
Yeah, the records
are different.
The irony is that like the person can survive longer than the piece of paper that says they were born.
Exactly. And they might not actually know how old they are. Mm-hmm. So you do have to be validated through this group. And again, once you hit 110, they start that process.
Yeah.
So now you have American-born Maria Morena, who is 115, and she's now the current oldest oldest person.
They always have the caveat, the world's.
I know, it's hard to say.
It's hard to say. The world's oldest living known person.
Yeah, there could be plenty.
There could be people out there that we don't know how old they are, but they may actually be in truth older. But I guess congratulations to Maria, and obviously, I mean, I don't know. It's a crazy thing too. You don't even know what the remaining family of a person who's 119 or nearly 119. You don't know what Sister Andre's family situation looked like. She might have outlived them all.
Well, she lived a very long life.
That's for sure.
So congratulations to that.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks to wine and chocolate.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. Radio U.
Now, Buffalo Bills fans are a different breed. We all know that, right? Possibly, you think they're the most rabid professional sports fans?
You paused there too long.
I don't know.
Who else do you think is the
I
who's in their category?
I just don't know if they're that crazy. I think they're crazy. I think they are. But I think the whole like jumping on tables thing really propelled their like fandom, which is a cool thing that they do. But I don't know if it makes them that crazy.
What about when they like donated all that money to Andy Dalton's charity after he got him into the playoffs years ago?
Yes,
Remember
I saw that.
That was a cool. Like they do crazy stuff.
They do a lot of crazy stuff.
Cool stuff that you don't see other fan bases doing.
Well, maybe it's because also you got to be pretty tough in Buffalo.
That's
you
right.
Do.
If
you're going to go to games in the snow, you got to be a little bit more of a fan.
And when you are so used to failing like they are, they've never won a championship.
Well, still, they still have hope.
No, yeah, they still have hope, and you've got to do, like, when you go, you don't want to stop going to games, right? But you've got to find a way to make it fun, and so they found other ways to kind of have a good time with it, and now they finally get to enjoy some success. But this story just adds to the mystique of the Bills Mafia, the Buffalo Bills fan base, where this past Sunday, they had their game against the Miami Dolphins. They won 34-31. That was the first football game of the day, started at 1 Eastern. So that goes through. Then we have a guy who we now know his name is Aiden.
A Buffalo Bills fan.
Bills fan. He's a younger guy, and he, after the game, he found his way to a truck. Obviously, he'd been drinking quite a bit.
Gosh, at an early game.
He'd been drinking.
Yeah, he'd probably been drinking since the night before, if not earlier. And so he wanders into what he thought it was his father's truck.
Yeah.
Came with his parents. But he gets in the truck bed. The truck bed is covered, but it wasn't his dad's truck at all. It was another Buffalo Bills fan that lived over an hour away from the stadium.
Oh, no.
And this Buffalo Bills fan, they get back to their home, again, over an hour away from the stadium.
With the guy in the back?
And then they discover that this guy, Aiden, has been stowing away, sleeping in the bed of the truck this entire time.
So they asked if he was okay because, he'd been back there.
Yeah.
And it seemed like he was fine. Now he was just really lost. Did he know who he was?
Yeah.
Okay, so he wasn't
He did know who he was. Okay.
He knew who he was.
So he knew how to get back home.
I think he slept it off. Yeah, he had to call his parents. But this is cool, though. Then the other Buffalo Bills fans that had driven him to their place unknowingly, they're like, come inside, watch, because there's more football the rest of the day. Come inside, watch the rest of the Giants
game
with us.
Come in here, you drunk. Go ahead, sit on my couch. You want a beer or no?
Yeah, right. Hair the dog,
He
perhaps?
is a stranger.
Yeah.
And he is so drunk.
But man, it is kind of a cool moment. And then, so they let him in. They watch the rest of the football game while they wait for his parents to come. For them to sober up and come pick him up, I assume.
Nothing sounds worse than you've made these choices and then it's followed by, well, yeah, let's have your parents come pick you up.
Yeah, really.
But if they're Buffalo Bills fans too, then they understand. And look, you made some new friends.
And I don't understand why he was riding in the bed of the truck. Like, that doesn't make sense to me because...
But it had a cover, like a tonneau cover.
It was still like 20 degrees outside, like on Sunday or Saturday for the Bills.
You mean warm for Buffalo?
Yeah, I know, exactly. But at the same time, if you're sitting in the back of the truck riding for like an hour, you got to think at some point, I mean, I don't know how much you've been drinking, but at some point
I think it was a lot.
Clearly, you would be like, oh my gosh, I'm freezing. Why are we driving so far away? Dad.
The way I picture it
Why would his dad let him, why would he have been okay riding home that way?
In the back of the truck.
For his dad anyways.
Maybe he was maybe he thought he was safer back there. He was going to throw up or something. And he was like, put you in the bed, buddy.
Since he went back to the truck before, I'm going to give you guys, not that I've ever done this, but if you drink way too much, maybe he left the game early, went to the truck. I'll go sleep it off in the truck.
The keys are locked, the doors are locked, so he has to get into the bed.
Yeah,
okay, it's adding up now.
Yeah, Dad will wake me up when he comes back to the truck, and then he's asleep, so he doesn't know what's going to happen.
Well, my favorite part is when he got inside the stranger's house, he had to borrow their phone charger.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I know I've been a nuisance with the truck bed and all, is his quote, but can I borrow a charger?
Good guy.
That is amazing.
Well, lifelong friends now, right?
There you go, Aiden.
Go Bills, I guess.
Fans help each other out.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
It's time for another instance of you be the judge.
Ooh,
on
what
Radio
someone did?
U. Yeah, text in your thoughts if you'd like at 8772 Radio U. Your ruling, even though in this case an actual judge is already judged. But here's what happened. This is in the UK where a woman, 28-year-old Michelle Felton, she, according to this case, texted her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, after he had broken up with her. They've been dating for 21 months.
Okay.
What's that, almost 2 years now? A year and 8 months?
Yeah, close to 2 years. And after he broke up with her, he thought the relationship was toxic, according to this story. She was sending him up to 150 texts per day.
Text messages?
Texts that were going unanswered.
A day?
She eventually wound up sending in total over 1,000 texts.
Oh, boy.
And called him numerous times as well. And that's only, from what the way I understand it here, those are all the texts and calls that went unanswered.
Yeah.
That's disregarding probably she texted him and called him a million times initially maybe, and you would think he might have answered and texted back at first to leave me alone. It's over. Let's move on.
She wanted to get back together with him.
And she wanted to get back together with him.
Gosh, how many times do you think she texted him when they were together?
Oh, an unreal amount.
Because I know sometimes people are just texters.
Yeah.
They text you more than the average person, but I mean, you're talking 3.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not going to do more than a double or triple text, you know?
I can't imagine sending 150 texts in my entire life.
I know.
Yeah, forget about 150 per day. So she goes through all of that, and now what the judge has ruled is that she is not able to contact her ex-boyfriend in any way for 18 months. She's also been sentenced to 18 months of community service and 30 days of rehabilitative activity.
So no jail.
You can't go to jail for sending texts.
Well, no, it's harassment.
Is it a crime?
I guess so.
I guess it could be.
And sometimes they
you need kind of a warning, you know?
No, they'll send you for a day or two, and then that's supposed to teach you a lesson to stop it.
But they can't. Is the UK different? Because with rehab, right, you always have to go on your own volition or whatever, or they say it won't work, right?
Sometimes rehabs can be different. It could be one you just go for the day, or you're just taking classes.
But what is the ruling here? Does that seem too harsh?
No.
You think 18 months of community service? She was only bothering one guy.
That's not what he's saying. I mean, it seems in such an aggressive way, and that makes you worried because if you don't stop it, the worry then is where the person goes from there.
Yeah.
Because if you're already on that level, what else is there to do? But really,
next she's showing up at your house. It's a bunch of weird stuff's gonna go from there.
You know, the other weird thing about it too is she seems too old. You know what I mean?
I know, she's 28.
28. You seem like you should have been through some breakups. You should have been, you should have been used to this kind of thing. It should have happened to you before, so that when you do have a breakup, it doesn't come such as a shock and doesn't rock you to your core to where you need to send 150 texts per day.
Wow.
You can just move on. This is a 20-year-old thing, not a 28-year-old thing.
He said that she was toxic. That's why he broke up with her. I would tend to maybe agree.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. I would assume that sounds pretty accurate.
The texting caused him great discomfort. He made it very clear he didn't want to continue dating her, but he wanted to rebuild his life, and she would not let him do that, so that's why she's in trouble.
So what does he get out of the deal?
Okay. Yeah, she would also go to his house unannounced, leave gifts on the doorsteps. So there's more.
So he got gifts out of the deal. Okay,
well.
So he can't complain too much.
That's a lot. I think her phone company's probably what's wrong? Why are
she's
you
going way over. Way over.
Why'd you stop sending so many text messages?
Yeah, well, she has to do 18 months of community service, 18 months of not contacting this guy, 30 days of rehab, and but I'm still shouldn't he get some kind of restitution?
Compensation?
Yeah, don't you think?
Well, now he's going to be left alone.
He doesn't need anything, I don't think. As long as she just stops bothering him, I think that's fine.
You think that's a reward all its own?
I think, yeah. As long as he can just live his life, move along.
He wasn't complaining for him. He was complaining for everyone.
Yeah.
For the public, because he doesn't want this lady going off on the next guy either.
Well, now she has an opportunity to learn about some healthy ways to be sad about a breakup without still contacting the guy.
Just move on, If they aren't the one for you, that's okay. You don't have to send them 150 text messages a day.
Yes.
Well, Isaiah, she's single.
Oh, there we go.
This is the Riot Radio U.
If you watch a lot of TikTok, maybe you guys came across this. lucky girl syndrome.
Yeah, it's been going on for a few weeks.
Yeah.
It was mostly, especially with the New Year's, like, hey, how are you going to have a good New Year's, like a new year, new you sort of thing, and changing your mentality.
Okay, so tell me if this is accurate then, because for some reason, lucky girl syndrome has not come up on my
It doesn't show for you?
I haven't seen it either. I have not seen anything about lucky girl syndrome.
But do you know what it is, though?
I am up with it now.
Okay.
But I have just recently learned.
So as I understand it, lucky girl syndrome is basically you tell yourself you're lucky. You say things like I'm so lucky, everything works out for me.
Yeah.
And you repeat that to yourself. And the universe always rewards me. Things like that. Don't laugh.
I'm
Don't
laughing
laugh.
too.
This is a real
I cannot help myself.
It's just really hard to hear you do the lucky girl stuff, and it's coming out of you.
because I could never be that way, could I?
Every morning.
Most of the time, it's coming out of lucky girls.
Okay. All right. But
Not
that's
lucky Hudsons.
So you tell yourself, I'm so lucky, everything works out for me. And you do that over and over again for days on end until you become lucky.
But the
and
one
things
on
start
TikTok,
to work out for you.
It seems like it's more, and I mean, you don't know if they're lying or not, but it's a lot of people, ladies, who do usually car sort of videos where they're sitting down and you're confessing
Love videos
something.
from the driver's seat of a car.
And you're trying to manifest something, which is nothing new. I mean, people have been trying that for a while.
And they used to call that the power of positive thinking and stuff like that.
So they say it's saying some nice things instead of usually the negative stuff that we can say.
Now, I'm seeing here, I know we're laughing at it a little bit.
Oh, I'm laughing.
But I've got a psychologist from her name is Samantha Weld Blundell. She's 36 years old. She's a doctor, a psychologist.
It must be real then.
Yeah, and
Clearly.
she says that
oddly enough,
going with lucky girl syndrome, it can change your life. But what you need to do if you want it to last is you need to practice it for at least 30 days.
Oh, and then it might start working?
Yeah. And this is, she said, it's just about what we just said. A lot of positive thinking, self-talk, and affirmations. And basically, it's all about if you change your mindset. This is a psychologist saying this, that there is some truth to this in her mind, that if you actually change, it's all about saying this stuff will change your mindset, and then maybe whether you're lucky or not, you'll at least have a more positive outlook on things, and so you'll feel lucky, and that's really all that matters, right?
Well, I think if you don't believe any of it, we could see how it'd be weird. But the one nice thing is that if you just stop being so negative about yourself, that if you try to be a bit more positive, and then you might notice luckier things that happen that you wouldn't have noticed necessarily if you're all down on yourself.
Yeah, I have switched. I flip-flopped. I thought this was really stupid when we first started talking about it. I have now changed because I think that you actually can convince yourself of anything. I think you 100% can. If you sit in your car every morning and you sat there as a girl and you looked in the mirror and you said, I am pretty.
Yeah.
No, I am pretty. Then at some point you're going to believe that you're pretty, whether you are or not. You may not be very pretty.
Well,
but
it sounds like you're saying
of it.
girls are gullible.
I'm not saying they're gullible. I think I did the same thing with myself. I can convince myself of anything if I just think it long enough.
Actually, Nikki, it's true. If you back me up on this.
What?
Isaiah has said for a long time that he is lucky.
Yeah.
He's told us this.
I know. He lives a charmed life.
I'm lucky because I'm positive. I've convinced you guys that I'm lucky. I've convinced you guys that I'm attractive.
You haven't just convinced yourself. You've convinced
I've convinced you guys. Exactly.
No, I don't know, though. It could be because he lays low.
I know.
So
it could be.
Nothing has come at him yet.
Because nothing bad happens to me. I'm a lucky person. So for me so far.
Nothing bad happens to you?
Nothing bad happens to me.
Yeah, I think the front of your truck begs to
differ.
That was,
and I said when that happened, I said that I'm a very lucky person. So I can't
He's
get too
lucky
down pat
that
it.
He can still drive his car
That's
for so long.
Exactly.
That you didn't get
It
injured.
could have been way worse.
It could have been worse.
Exactly. So you can convince yourself of anything, and if you say it to yourself long enough, you'll just believe it, and you can convince the people around you. So if you want to be attractive, just tell everyone you're attractive long enough, And they'll believe it too.
Why does it always go to looks?
That's what I was saying.
Because that's what I convince myself of every day. And
So that's
if
the
you convince
new
yourself,
one.
just be confident.
That's the next TikTok trend, the lucky Isaiah syndrome.
Yeah, it's gonna tell yourself you're attractive, and eventually you'll feel attractive.
Yeah, you
It's
tell
only
yourself you're
about
lucky.
looks.
If you tell yourself you're lucky, you'll feel lucky. I'm lucky.
Oh, gosh.
The Riot with Hudson and Nikki on Radio U.
Picture this: you order an Uber, you open up the Uber app, you get your schedule your pickup or whatever. You hop into the Uber, hop into the back seat. Welcome to karaoke. Which song are you singing?
Oh, like you go in and you have to sing karaoke?
Yeah, you hop in the Uber and you've hopped into karaoke Uber.
Does it make it free, or is it a game show, or?
Was it
It
the
is
cash
not
cab?
free.
I know, like
I
cash
love the
cab.
cash cab.
Yeah, would you rather do cash cab or Uber karaoke?
Cash cab,
Cash cab.
100%.
Cash cab, you can win money.
Exactly.
Uber karaoke, you cannot. It's just
Even though
something.
both ways nowadays, you'd feel like they're taking you and you're going to die.
Yeah.
You're like, is this a real show?
Where are you taking me? Are you distracting me?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I'd recognize a cash cab guy anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I think. And do they even make that show anymore?
I
No,
don't
it's
think
gone. It's
so.
over.
Yeah,
It ended,
we missed our
unfortunately.
chance.
I didn't even get to do it.
I know, me neither. I was just ordering cabs in New York City over and over again. It never worked out for me. But this is much less sanctioned than the cash cab was.
Well, is it an option? Because I know like quiet, Ubers are the rage
Yeah.
now, to where you can actually choose different sort of styles of Uber rides. Like if you don't want them to talk to you, if you just want it quiet, or can you choose and click on like the karaoke one?
No, I think this is just something that one guy's doing. His name is Julian Shakuna. He's originally from Belgium, but he moved to L.A. About a decade ago.
Oh, he's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah, trying to get his entertainment career started. He said things kind of dried up, of course, when the pandemic hit, and he was trying to make ends meet. He was doing the Uber deal, but he still got, when you're an entertainer like us and like Julian,
You got to get it out.
you've got entertainment in your blood, and you've got to entertain somebody. So what he did was he bought a light, a special light for his car, a microphone. He put together a special setup. And so now he surprises his Uber riders by setting them up with a karaoke setup there in the car, and they can go crazy.
But before you get too scared, what he does do is he says he reads the room first to see if you're a person that's going to vibe with the karaoke thing.
Yeah.
So like if you get in, he's just not going to surprise you with it. He's going to just try to feel it out a bit before he breaks it out. And
He's going to drive around the block a few times.
Yeah.
Before you
He's gonna run up the
start
numbers.
heading to your destination. So
And then it looks like he does this for Instagram and probably TikTok and maybe even YouTube, to where you can be on one of his videos.
So do you think you'd be vibing enough to go ahead and do Uber karaoke?
If I knew it was going to be a video, though, that would make me a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah.
Because what if I'm just not good enough?
Oh, you wouldn't be. Don't worry.
If you have that
it
thought
would be
going through your
nerve-wracking.
mind, you definitely wouldn't be. Yeah.
Because
But if
I
you were
feel
with
like there's
friends, it'd be
definitely
fun.
Yeah, if you're with friends, it would be fun. But like realistically, I bet he's probably had. He said he does it for Instagram. He probably posts the videos. I'm sure he's had some superstars in there that have been like good singers. I would hate to be the video after the really good person,
Yeah.
And then it's like me, like I sound like a wild squirrel, like trying to sing. It's not like a good look for me,
probably have
but
a
it would
good
still be fun.
falsetto
I would
voice.
for sure.
Yeah.
I would for sure do it. That'd be fun.
Do you guys have a go-to karaoke song?
No, I don't do karaoke.
You don't do karaoke?
No.
Isaiah?
And you say that like you're surprised.
Yeah,
You do
you're right.
karaoke.
Do you have a go-to song?
It's not Celine Dion.
Why would you think that? Just because she's Canadian?
No, you always said your mom sang Shania Twain. There it is.
I've never actually gotten the chance. I played karaoke way back, like when I was a kid. There was like rock band and stuff we would play. But I've never gone out to like a karaoke bar and done that, even though I would love to, because I think I would crush it.
Well,
Oh,
get
you
in
think
this
you
guy's
would?
car.
Yeah, I would crush it. And you know what my song would be?
What's your song?
Dream On by Aerosmith.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah, I'll nail that one.
That's a tough song to sing.
I know. That's why you.
I like your style.
Swing for the fences, what I say.
You're confident.
That's a good one. Yeah, mine would probably be to play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry. I don't know if you're
nice.
familiar.
Yeah,
That would be my go-to.
Did I see you looking that song up?
What? I was making sure I got the right name of it. I know how it goes now.
Well, those feel both very karaoke.
Of course, yeah.
Well, maybe we should do some Uber rides together sometime.
Oh, yeah, see if we can get into the Uber karaoke car.
Or we could start this on our own.
Maybe we just do it on the side.
Yeah, I think we could go viral.
Oh, I'd
That'd be
love that
great.
to be at our RadioU official TikTok where we can embarrass ourselves some more.
Oh, yeah.
Set up the RadioU van
Yeah.
for it.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.